Good afternoon, everybody. Noel Lingle here from Kansas City, Missouri. Check my IP address. It'll show the nearest zip code thingy. I'm going to put my thinking cap on, and we're going to talk a little bit about wire fraud. That's right. This is what I'm gonna show that I believe in part they're doing, because I've never been paid anything by these lawsuits that they claim they've been suing on my behalf and representing me. So here goes. 18 U.S. Code 1343. That's the United States Criminal Code. And that's what that means. And wire fraud. It's called fraud by wire, radio, or television. Whoever having devised or intending to devise any scheme to or artifice to defraud for obtaining money or property by means of false or fraudulent pretenses, representations, or promises, transmits, or causes to be transmitted by means of wire, radio, or television communication in interstate or foreign commerce. Any writings, signs, signals, pictures, or sounds for the purpose of executing such, by this meaning executing by carrying out a plan. Such scheme or artifice shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. If the violation occurs in relation to or involving any benefit, authorized, transported, transmitted, transferred, disbursement, or paid in connection with presidentially declared major disaster or emergency, as those terms defined in section of the 102 of the Robert Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act, 42 U.S.C. 5122, or affects the financial institution, shall person be fined not more than $1 million or imprisoned not more than 30 years or both. Federal prison. So keep that in mind. We'll go over here. In federal laws, they have what's called elements. You have to meet certain elements of a crime in order for it to qualify as a crime. You see? Now, this is 18 U.S.C. 1343, according to the Department of, that last one, 18 U.S. Code 1343, fraud by wire, radio, or television. That source was Cornell Law School, an Ivy League school. So, this here is from the DOJ, Department of Justice. That's where this is going to be sourced from. And this is 18 U.S.C. 1343, elements of wire fraud. 1. That the defendant voluntarily and intentionally devised or participated in a scheme to defraud another out of money. That the defendant did so with intent to defraud. That it was reasonably foreseeable that interstate wire communications would be used. that interstate wire communications were in fact used. That's number 4. Television. I don't know about y'all, but you all might know that they were on television. See? And if they were on television, they were on television doing whatever. Taking settlements and saying, this is my sister, when that's not really my sister. I could probably tell the FBI, if they show me a photograph, I could say, no, that's not my sister. And prove that would be wire fraud. Because Miss Jasper is definitely not my sister. And she's not my guardian either. So there's that. Now we go over here. In terms of definitions, in legal terms, interstate wire communication refers to the transmission of information primarily for the purpose of fraud across state lines using electronic means. This includes telephone calls, faxes, emails, texts, and other electronic methods of communication, like the television. The key element is that the communication originates in one state and is received in another, or that it passes through a facility in another state, like the television. Definition of wire fraud, wire communication. The definition encompasses various technologies, including landline phones, cell phones, computers, and even public internet services. Definition of interstate. Interstate refers to communications or transmissions that occur between different states, territories, or possessions of the United States. Legal implications. To be considered wire fraud, the communication must be a part of a scheme to defraud, and it must be reasonably foreseeable that interstate wire communications would be used. I can subpoena all their electronics at KY3 if I sue Gray Media again under wire fraud. Because that case was dismissed without prejudice. That means I can sue again. Examples of interstate wire communications. Phone call from New York to California. A fraudulent email sent from one server in Ohio to a recipient in Illinois. A text message that travels through a server in different states. In a different state. In essence, if an electronic communication crosses state lines or utilizes facility in another state, it can be classified as interstate wire communication, potentially leading to legal consequences if it is part of a fraudulent scheme. Now, we go over here. And a source on that was Mr. Google. You know, they say what they're doing is not illegal, and I'd like to know how. How is it not illegal what they're doing? And this is the according to Mr. Google. Oh, because one person says it's not illegal, it must be not illegal. Well, what's your basis for it not being illegal? What's your source? What's the source? In law, what's the law that says that what she is doing is not illegal? In legal definition of fraud. In law, fraud is intentional deception or misrepresentation made for personal gain or to cause a loss to another party. It can be a civil wrong, a criminal offense, or element of other legal violations. The core elements of typically include a false statement, a knowledge of its falsity, intent to deceive, reliance on the statement by the victim, and resulting damages. Now, we'll go over here. This is Mr. Google's definition of fraud. This is from Cornell again, because Cornell is an Ivy League school. You see, that's one of those schools where smart people go. You know, I don't know about C of O. I don't know if smart people go there. But I know smart people go to Cornell. But I don't know about C of O. For scheme or artifice to defraud. For the purpose, this is the definition of that. For the purpose of this chapter, the term scheme or artifice to defraud includes a scheme or artifice to deprive another of intangible right of honest services. Like when Judge Blankenship blocked my media, then he deprived me of the right of honest services. The news. That's right. That's what I'm saying. That's why I believe it's unconstitutional under the prior restraint. What are they hiding from me? You see, what are they hiding from me? The fact that they're taking money from me? Possibly. Or other tangible assets. So, anyways, food for thought. Good day.